Sarah. Hey guys, DeonDrug7 here, and today we're going to be tackling r/slash scary stories. Now, originally I was going to be doing 3 stories per video whenever I tackled a scary story video, but then I realized that these videos are a whole entire essay, and I'm not trying to make a whole 2-hour video because, I read at the speed of a freaking snail out here, so I'm just going to be doing one story because it'll process a lot quicker for me and for you guys, so it'll help me get the video out sooner for you guys on schedule this time because the schedule has kind of been a little funky recently. Sorry about that, guys, but anyways, let's get right to the story. And of course, as you saw by the title, this story is just called Sarah. And let's see what this story has in store for us. Going to go ahead and explain that what I will be confessing to will already be told to the appropriate authorities by the time this is posted. You may recall the clown sightings of 2016. Well, this is when this story, no, confession takes place. South Carolina, fall of 2016. She was in her mid-30s. She was so beautiful. Her hair was as red as an autumn sunset. Her skin so pale and smooth. Oh, her skin. Those beautiful crystal eyes that always gleamed in the sun while she sat outside with her flowers. After seeing her on one of my daily walks, I started watching her. She lived a couple houses down and had a husband. No, children. It was innocent at first. I would start off just slowing my pace to watch her in the garden. Then it turned to just watching her get ready for her day. Finally, it became just watching to see what she does from the time she wakes up to the time she goes to bed. I found out her name was Sarah after digging through her trash one night. Sarah. Such a fitting name. My Sarah. I started watching Sarah a few times a month. Then went a couple times a week, transitioning to every other day. Then the watching became an everyday activity of mine. It became routine until I was caught. Sarah shouted and screamed to the husband that someone was outside the bathroom window. Furious, the husband ran out and caught me. After leaving the hospital, I decided I was done. I didn't like scaring Sarah. I tried to stay away, but I couldn't hold myself back any longer. It was only after a few weeks when I started watching her again. Only from my house this time. One day, I was watching her while my television played in the background. The story caught my ear. Residents were worried about a clown sighting in a local neighborhood. The guy was never caught, and this sparked an idea. Who doesn't love clowns? I'm sure my Sarah loved clowns. She couldn't be scared of clowns. That day, I went out to my local Halloween store. I purchased a costume and got myself ready for what I knew was going to be a good night. The husband always worked a night shift. It's like the universe wanted Sarah and I to be together. She stayed up at night because she was alone and couldn't sleep. I stayed up at night because I hated her being alone. She wouldn't have to if she was with me. I'd hold her. I'd brush her hair. I'd lotion her porcelain skin to keep it soft. I'd stay up with her. She always watched the same show on her TV. One night, I got too close. I knocked over a flower pot by the living room window. She loved that flower pot. She arranged it every day. She jumped and called her husband since she was startled. I didn't blame her for turning to him, not after they caught me the first time. Her husband must have calmed her down over the phone because she went right back to watching TV. I went back to watching her. The next night, she went out with some friends for dinner. I went with her and stood outside, still wearing my happy clown costume. I imagined sitting there, laughing with them. I would laugh at every joke she would tell. Before I knew it, everyone else in the restaurant was staring at me. They looked like they'd seen a monster. Some rushed outside, but I was gone. The next night, she stayed somewhere else, which was fine with me, because I decided to stay at her house. I climbed through the bathroom window. My eyes caught her brush lying on the counter, filled with her beautiful red hair. I pulled every hair out and stuffed them in my pocket. I then seen the toothbrush she used every morning. My heart raced with excitement. Now was my chance to be one with her, in a way. To taste her. The toothbrush tasted just like I imagined she would. I made my way to her room. I decided to check myself a bowl of her favorite cereal she ate most of the mornings and watch that favorite show of hers. I don't understand what's happening in it, but I would watch it every night with her if she would only give me the chance. I already sort of do. I must have been sleeping pretty hard because I was awakened by the sound of a car closing outside. It was now morning. I was still in her bed. I hurried and hid under the bed. My costume rustled as I hid. I thought for sure she would hear me just from my heartbeat alone. She walked into the room and started to undress from the clothes she wore the night before. She was presenting her unflawed, beautiful self to me, and I was patiently waiting for it. Before my heart almost came out of my throat, the phone started to ring in the living room. I was about to make my way towards her to properly introduce myself so we would start our lives together when her husband pulled up. I decided to sneak back out the bathroom window and went back to my house. Many thoughts rushed through my head. That was the closest I've ever been to Sarah. She was literally an arm's length. Sarah was mine. It was after this I knew we were meant to be together. She was mine and I was hers. Sarah went out again that night, and I made my way back through her bathroom window, except this time she came home earlier than expected. As soon as I made my way through the bathroom, she walked through the front door, sobbing. I almost wanted to sob too. I hated seeing her cry, and she needed a shoulder to cry on. She needed someone to tell her everything was okay. That someone needed to be me. And I was done being patient. I stepped out of her dark hallway with the friendliest look I could muster. Sarah screamed when she saw me. I wasn't expecting this reaction. Panicking, I grabbed a pan from the stove and swung it towards her head to stop the screaming. She laid on the floor. Sarah looked so relaxed. I sat beside her, holding her, smelling her hair. I held her face tenderly. Something warm tricked down my right hand. It was a darker red than her hair. Even her blood tasted sweet. Soon woke up and I tried to tell her to be quiet. I tried to explain that we could finally be together, but she didn't listen. Why wouldn't she listen? She started screaming again uncontrollably. I leaned on top of her and grabbed her soft, fragile head and shook it against the floor, trying to stop her screaming. She just wouldn't stop screaming and screaming. I kept shaking and shaking, harder and harder. I could hear a slight bang against the floor with each shake. Then there was a sound, kind of like the sound of stepping on a bag of chips. Finally, the screaming stopped. Finally, she was quiet. Everything was quiet. When looking down, I saw why. Sarah's eyes stared back, wide and gray. Where were the blue crystals I loved so much? Something wet, gooey, and warm was escaping the back of her head. I gently lifted it up and seen some kind of matter oozing out with the blood. Pieces of bone was cracked all over the floor. There was a hole in the back of her head. I could fix this. I panicked and grabbed tape from the kitchen drawer and tried putting the matter back in the hole. But I couldn't hold it all in and tape it back in time. The gooey pink stuff was pushing out of the seams. I had to hide this. She deserved better than this. We deserved to be together. I decided to give her a place to rest. A place I could see her every night. I placed the brain pieces I couldn't tape back in the new flower pot they replaced outside the living room window. Still to this day, those flowers are beautiful. Now her husband waters them and arranges them every day with tears in his eyes. The sight kind of made me happy. She creates beauty. Beauty that is no longer his. That beauty is all mine. Every day I got to come home to her. I'd always stop to bring her home the most beautiful flowers. They were never as beautiful as her. I'd hold her every night. I would try to brush her hair until none was left. I would lotion her skin that was no longer porcelain. I didn't care. I loved her more like this. She was mine. She didn't scream. And best of all, she still tasted sweet. Now, that was not a story I was expecting, to be honest with y'all. I actually really liked how the story was settling. I mean, you can kind of tell, like, from the beginning that something bad was going to happen to Sarah, but I wasn't expecting all of that, you know, how he violently shook her the narrator violently shook her to the freaking floor and eventually, you know, bashed her skull in and killed her. I was not expecting that ending. I thought it would end a lot more different. I thought maybe the narrator would be killed at the end of the story and it was like his ghost telling the story or whatever. But still, that's just that's crazy. I'm sorry, that ending was crazy. How, you know, ultimately he never really knew what he did wrong. Well, he knew what he was doing was wrong, but, you know, it was that temptation that led him to doing what he did, and, you know, eventually that temptation ended up killing Sarah in the end. And at the end of the day, his sociopathic ways, like, he just doesn't care, you know, because, you know, sociopath is someone who he's basically he's basically a huge, like, definition of a sociopath. Like, he knows what he was doing was wrong, but he just didn't care. He did it just for the pleasure of it. And at first I was thinking he was going to be more of a psychopathic villain, but now I realize that he was kind of a sociopathic villain. Like, especially how he felt pleasure from the fact that, you know, the Sarah's husband would, you know, cry every time he flowered the plants. And the fact that he kept the body until it was basically fully decomposed, it was just, jeez. Some people, and it's sad. It's the thing that's scary about this story is that there are people like this. There are people who will go to the measures of not only just stalking you, they will sneak into your house and ultimately kill you, and you know, they'll keep your body as if, you know, you two are married, even though your soul is long gone from this world. That, okay, the guy who made this story, you know, props to you. Props to you. So if you guys enjoyed this story, make sure you guys leave a like, and I was about to say, make sure you leave a like and enjoy this video. Make sure you guys leave a like and comment down below if you guys want me to do any more stories like this, or, you know, you can like DM me on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Links to those will be in the description down below, and, you know, DM me mainly on, actually DM me on Instagram, because I'll more than likely answer on there. DM me like links to other scary stories that you guys would like me to read, because I do like to do like some scary stories once in a while. I mean, these are kind of fun. Sorry I couldn't do sorry I couldn't do more than one, but you know, this video alone, like this story alone, took me nearly 2 hours just to, you know, narrate the story and do the voice and stuff, because there were more than 50 times where I kept screwing up, because, you know, I stutter a lot, so I was trying to keep it as perfect as possible. I didn't want to do a lot of stuttering, because, you know, that would make the video less scary, because it would have seemed more like me reading it than the actual narrator reading it. And yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to make this story, I just wanted to narrate this story in like the best way possible, so you guys could feel the emotion in the story and stuff like that. You guys could actually feel the terror that the story brings. Another thing is, oh yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel, which we are now to 540 subscribers, so big ups for that. Now let's see if we can make it to 550 by next week. Let's see by next week if we can make it to 550. We're slowly making it to 1,000 YouTubers, guys. We're slowly making it there. Just like, it's like every week I gain like 10 subscribers, and I love that. So, you know, maybe by the end of 2020 I might make it. So that I'm actually really excited by the fact that, you know, my subscribers keep going up and up and up and up. But anyways, that's the end of this video. I love you all. Make sure you guys subscribe and join Turtle Army. That's what I call you guys, you know. I don't just do Reddit videos. I also do reactions or commentaries now. I don't really do reactions anymore. They're more commentary videos. I do gaming, basically a lot of stuff on this channel, but every October we do a little bit of scary video. We do a lot of scary videos. Like, it's just nothing but scary videos. So, you know, I like to get into I like to get into a festive mood when it comes to October. Because, like, you know, I get to do a lot of scary videos because, like, it's October. A lot of people are expecting, you know, some sort of Halloween themed video. So, you know, I love it. Anyways, that's all I have to say for you guys. Love you all. DeAndrox7.